to Jake Jackets. Gear up to fire the cannon and hit the ice with your host, Jay Ashdown and Jake Gehringer.
But I gotta go back in 12 hours. Good.
Wow,
I gotta.
that was very strange at the same time for the both of us.
Well, that was a season, wasn't it?
Yeah. You know what, Jake? Out of all the seasons I've watched, that was certainly one of them.
That was definitely a season of hockey that happened, right?
It was one of the seasons of all time.
Yeah. Well, we're done here until, well, no, not really, because everybody's got some work to do, and everybody is like fire sailing fast, really.
A lot of coaching changes.
But we'll get to
We'll
that
get
in a
to
minute.
second. Just across the league in general.
Yeah, yeah.
Hardly the only team that fired people in their organization. I mean, it was quite the fire sale yesterday, but obviously we were delayed a day because we had to make up that game against the Sabres.
Mm-hmm. Colorado had a makeup game too because of the water main in Nashville, right?
And they ended up winning the division with that win against the Preds.
But we need to give one more round of kudos, one more Kepi Keeper by DraftKings to start. And we're talking NBA hoops, NBA postseason for this one.
Yeah. Well, God, I mean, I'm so excited. I mean, it's been rough with the Blue Jackets, so I've paid a lot of attention to the Cavs, and here we are.
Here we are, and with an official sports betting partner of the NBA, y'all can get in on the postseason action in this predictable, non-predictable playoff, because you know how the NBA goes.
First round, very predictable at the top, not so predictable in the middle.
Get in on the excitement of every game. New customers make a $5 pregame moneyline bet and score $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. Plus, everyone can score a no-sweat same-game parlay every single day during these playoffs. Just opt in and place your same-game parlay on any NBA game, and you get your bonus bet back up to $10. So, I don't know if you've already got any.
Oh, baby. What I did was I'm going to explain this as quickly as possible. I did a 4-leg parlay on the Guardians Mariners game that hit. It was a $15 bet that turned into $260. Wow. I took the $260 and I put it on the Knicks to beat the Cavs because I'm like, hey, I didn't expect to have this $260. So either the Cavs are going to win in the first round against the Knicks, I'm going to game 2, or I win $715.
Wow, $715. God damn, what a payout, bro.
Yeah.
It's just funny to me because, like, you know, thinking about the Knicks and how literally every New York Metropolitan team has made their respective playoffs now.
Yeah, it's been a good year for New York.
It's like, but yeah, you can get in on the NBA action with DraftKings. All you got to do is download the app now and sign up with the code THPN. New customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline and score $150 in bonus bets if their team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN. All of our fun disclaimer stuff always in our description. Once more with feeling, my good man. Who is your final Kepi Keeper of 2022-23?
God, I didn't put much thought into this, but
I didn't really either.
I mean, there's a
lot of guys we can pick because there's still positive stories out of here.
You got guys making their debuts, so there's a ton of different angles you can go with this. So I'm gonna go with Tyler.
You're gonna go? Oh yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Tyler Angle, I love the pick. He scored his first AHL goal against Buffalo in the finale yesterday.
Yeah, sharp angle shot, and I don't mean that with. I'm not trying to make a joke there. It was a sharp angle shot.
Right. It's funny because
So I guess it was fitting that he scored like that.
His name alone, we're just gonna end up having a field day with buns, right?
Yeah, but it legitimately was a sharp angle shot, which was so fitting for him. I kind of laughed at that when it happened, but congrats to him. Two NHL games under his belt now, and first NHL goal.
Yeah. I guess mine's gonna go to, because we're gonna do next week. Now that we're going down to 1 episode a week and everything, we'll do like a deep dive back into the chart and things in a week. But for this one, yeah, I think, God, I'm torn because I want to give it to a guy that we've had for a while
Okay.
this season. So here's what I'll do. My official one that's gonna go in the log is going to Krill
Okay.
for setting rookie record, for goals scored, and all of that fun stuff. Kirill Marchenko is going to be so much fun for this team in the future, in the near future. Like, look at him now,
Yeah.
right? But I'm going to give an honorary one for one of the debuts that happened. And it's the Svo Show.
Yeah.
Stan Svozil getting his NHL debut in Pittsburgh. Good on the kid. His best buddy Connor Bedard might be joining him soon.
That would be nice.
That would be pretty nice. But yeah, we're both big Svozil guys.
Yeah.
Like, just look
you
at
could
him.
see it in the game too. He looked very good. Yeah, I'm excited about him. So good pick.
I'm super excited for Svo, but he's getting the honorable one, and the actual one is going to Kirill because Marchie has just been a revelation for this team. Yeah, I'm surprised he, it took him about a quarter of the way through the season, and
Yeah, I want to say he played almost 60 games.
that's not bad.
No, not bad. I understand why they kept him down as long as they did to start, but
Right.
eventually it got to a point where they just didn't really have a choice. And then once he got here, they couldn't justify sending him down.
No. So, okay. As we get into the obituary part of the show, now that our season is, our season was over by Christmas, but
Christmas?
by American
well,
Thanksgiving.
baby, you're being generous.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was probably over by like Canadian.
You're giving them a gift.
Yeah, I am giving them a gift. So yeah, to put this in the words of an old friend of ours growing up, I guess, in Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de la Rosa Ramirez, this is a disaster.
Yes.
That's the season in a nutshell.
There's just no way around it. From head to toe, it was an utter failure. And a lot needs to change. A lot will change.
A lot has changed just this morning. Do we want to get into this right now?
Sure. You texted me this morning and you said, I'll be ready in a second. I'm just making my coffee, as you typically do. And I was about to start making my coffee too. And then I figured, you know what? Well, there's two reasons. One, there wasn't any creamer. But two, I was like, you know what? We need to celebrate. So I grabbed a Coors.
There you go. Oh, that's great. Ding dong, the witch is dead, everybody. Brad Larsen has been relieved of his head coaching duties.
Manny Legacy will also not be back, which I thought needed to happen as well.
Now, I don't want to make it sound like, but at the same time, yes, because a lot of this was Lars's fault.
Yeah.
A lot of this season does fall on his shoulders.
Let's preface what we say. Brad Larsen is clearly a good person, and he was clearly very respected within the organization.
Been here for years and years.
Been for a decade plus.
Yeah.
So clearly a respected figure. With that being said, he's not an NHL coach.
He's not a head coach, at least.
Yeah, not a head coach. Could he be an assistant elsewhere? Sure. Could I absolutely see him making a one-way trip to Philadelphia? Absolutely.
Yeah, he could run another towards power play. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the sole reason why this season went down the drain so fast.
No, I would say a lot of it, like everybody's going to naturally bring up the injury bug, et cetera, et cetera. But the other one I would say is Manny Legacy. You were the goalie coach, and this team is one of the worst goaltending teams in the National Hockey League. Obviously, we talk a lot about the whole incident with Elvis Merzlikins, but at the end of the day, Manny Legacy has a job as goaltending coach to really help craft his game and to refine it as much as possible.
Yes.
And over the years, we have seen Elvis continually regress. And I would make the argument that he is probably the most responsible person for that.
We have a lot of positives from this season, despite what happened with,
according to you.
well, think about the individual players we've got, and think about, like, Johnny did his thing. Kirill was masterful as a rookie.
So was KJ.
So was KJ. Liam Foodie, you know,
here's
he was an up and down player, but as the season came along, he was warming up, and it was nice to see.
I want to ask you a question because I saw this on Twitter. Okay.
Yes, and I
think
want
it's a great question that relates to Lars.
I want to address the fan base too, as a
Sure.
whole, because the last couple of days on Twitter, specifically about like the draft lottery stuff, and we'll
This is
get
an
to this
all-time week for Blue Jackets Twitter.
guys, calm the hell down.
No.
Just a little bit. God.
Look.
Go ahead. Ask your question really quick, and then I got some tweets I got to read.
Yeah. So this is a question that was posed not by a Blue Jackets fan. It was like superlatives for every team. So like MVP, best rookie, most disappointing. Okay.
Yes.
And I think we had the answer. MVP's Johnny.
Oh yeah.
Best rookie. You can go either way. You can go KJ or you can go Marchenko. Okay.
Yeah, because they were both phenomenal in their own ways.
Most disappointing, Cole Sillinger.
Poor Cole.
He's 19.
Yeah.
But, you know, and we expected a slump, but it was bad. So
we didn't expect it to be that bad. No.
Here's the question I want to ask you.
Go.
Most improved.
Most improved. Oh. Oh God. Oh God, you put me on the spot.
I want you to think about it because I thought about it long and hard. Who can you legitimately say took a gigantic step?
Took a big step? Oh man. I don't know, dude. Because
that should tell you right there. That's why Brad Larsen got fired.
Yeah, because I'm like trying to think, and I'm just like,
the answer to me, the biggest step taken by any player this season is Liam Foodie. I'm sorry, your biggest improvement player shouldn't be a guy who had 7 goals and 7 assists.
No, and like, because I would love to say Patrick Laine, because his all-around game got.
He was a point per game player last year. So like, you know.
But like, yeah, you see what I'm trying to. It's like, you know what I mean? And like, you know, Peeker was doing his thing.
I mean, he set a career high in goals, but you know, not an offensive defenseman by any means.
No, and like trying to think of some of the young defensemen too, because like Tim Burney got his shot and he was doing his thing.
But here's the thing: he doesn't qualify. Those guys don't qualify. They're rookies. Rookies don't qualify for most improved.
Blanks, maybe, but he got a
Blanks
cup of
is also
coffee.
rookie.
Like it's like,
so like you see what I mean? Like that, like. Boqvist, same amount of points as last year in 7 few games, but he only played 44 games this year.
It's just, I don't know, man.
So that's it right there. Nobody improved. That's why you got fired.
Yeah. Okay. So touching on the injury front, this is from our buddy Svoboda, who, by the way, great work as always, Jeff, this year. You know, oh my God, like, I'm going to pull some strings. We're going to talk with Jeremy and Laura. They've got connections with Jeff. We'll see if we can get him on our show at some point soon this offseason. That'd be great.
Exactly.
This was 4 days ago. Columbus is now at 530 man games lost, breaking the previous franchise record of 508 from
And that was in the 14-15 season, right?
infamous 14-15 year. Yes. Hopefully the Jackets never come close to that again. But they shattered that shed. It's just like, ew. Too many guys were lost for like the entire season, like way early on.
Mm-hmm.
With Z being out for 98% of the year. Blanks was in and out. Boakfist was in and out. Obviously, we don't need to go down the whole list, but like, wow. And here's what I want to talk about with regards to the draft stuff, right? And how everybody is so overreactionary about the winning part of it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I get it. The winning futzes with our draft position odds, right?
Well, yeah. So we finished in second last, and that guarantees us a top 4 pick. But, it decreased our chances at number 1. It decreased our chances at number 2.
So this is from our friends Jeremy and Laura. Keep in mind the following finishes still possible could lead to the lottery results. 32nd, which is locked up now by the Ducks, is 1-3.
Yes.
31st, 1-4. 30th, 1-5, and 29th, 1-6. So it's not unrealistic.
No, it's not unrealistic at all. But to me, what we've said over and over again, the reason you want to finish in last is just so you guarantee yourself a top 3 pick. It's not as much about the extended chances at Bedard because it's a lottery. It's literally just ping pong balls. But
yes.
It's about guaranteeing a top center in the draft. Now, granted, we're still in a fine spot because the top 4 to this draft is just ridiculous.
It's
Bedard,
so strong. Yeah.
Fantilli, Carlson, Mitchkov. One of those 4
And then
guys,
outside of those guys, you have like
Will Smith.
Will
I
Smith.
think it's going to be fantastic.
There's Brady Yeager
yes.
in that mix. There's so much talent in this draft.
Yeah.
So we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the numbers, as the lottery states, Portsea has those. Number 1, 13.5% odds in the May 8th lottery. To get number 2 is a 14.4% chance. Number 3 is a 32% chance. And number 4, a 40.2% chance.
So here are the guys you've got near the top: Will Smith, Zach Benson, Oliver Moore, DeLieber, Dvorsky, Edward Saleh, Andrew Cristall, Braden Yeager, Ryan Leonard. Like the top of this draft is really good. And because you got a top 4 pick, you're guaranteed one of Bedard, Fantilli, Mitchkov, or Carlson, which is ideal. It's just, as much as I like Matvei Mitchkov, it's 2 things. 1, you're going to have to wait for the kid.
Yes.
And 2, he's not a center.
Right. So our best bet is obviously pray that we win this lottery.
Even if they just stand at 2,
you still get a Hobie Baker winner. You get Adam Fantilli, guys.
Yes.
Like, that's fine. That's totally fine.
God, like a guy who goes number 1 in most drafts.
Yes.
So
it's just that the chasm between Fantilli and Bedard stats wise
all over again.
Yes, it's.
Although I think he's going to be better than Eichel.
Yes, it's just like it's 2015 in a crazy sense because you have a guy that's playing in the CHL that's just tearing literally everybody to shreds.
Yes. Doing disgusting things.
Yes.
That should just not be allowed.
But then you completely overlook the guy that's going to unanimously go number 2 because he's playing in the NCAA, but he's still tearing through everybody.
Yeah.
So, like, don't underestimate the possibility of getting Adam Fantilli, guys.
And Leo Carlson's also phenomenal. Good size to him too, as a center. Good skating ability. It's just, the guy at number 1 is so polarizing.
Yeah. But that's the quick look at it, and we'll
Yeah.
probably bring Jeremy and Laura on next week to dive deeper into what happened this year.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
It'd be fun.
We'll have a lot of opportunities to talk about what happened and kind of where we go from here. But the big easy of it is Brad Larsen's been fired. It's good for us. Manny Legacy's gone. It's
Who do you
good for us.
think? Who do you think is next?
That's the thing. I have no idea.
I was going to say, who do you want next?
I'd like Nate Lehman from Providence.
Okay.
He's only 50 years old. He's got a winning percentage of above 600 at Providence, which is not a traditional,
right,
college winning market. Won a national title with them in 2015, and he's from Ohio.
Hey.
So I think there's a lot there with Nate Lehman that he would translate well to the NHL. I think he'd be a good coach here. His name's been kind of cycled around these last few years in potential coaching searches, but
I got chirped. I got chirped really bad this morning when the news broke and we were talking about it on Discord.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, I know the perfect replacement. And it was a picture of Mike Yeo. I was just like, bro, we just let our tank commander go.
There's another guy who is a little bit on the older side, but I would be 100% in on. I wasn't kidding when I said I would absolutely take Bruce Boudreau here.
Honestly, yeah.
I know he wouldn't be a long-term solution, but I think he would be fantastic for this team. Would you love to see Johnny Gaudreau and
Bruce
Johnson,
Boudreau,
Kirill Marchenko under Bruce Boudreau in that style of hockey? That fits the identity of this team.
Well, think about the locker room too.
Yeah.
Think about the complete vibe change in that locker room if you bring in a guy like Bruce Boudreau, right?
Yeah. It's the guy who has literally won just about everywhere he's gone except for Vancouver. Well, what other coach had that in common? Oh, John Tortorella, who won everywhere he was at except for
Vancouver. Yeah. It's
just saying.
So Bruce doesn't have his cup, no,
but God, Torts, when he won his cup, it was back in 2004. It's not like we're looking to win a Stanley Cup here. We're looking to take a team that's rebuilding and progress them. We have young, talented, offensive players who we need to develop. And I can't think of many guys who are better for that than Bruce Boudreau. I know he got fired this season, but look at Elias Pettersson. Maybe
he had the quietest
100-point season I've ever seen in my life. Nobody talked about it.
Now, okay, let's get into that as we transition out of here. So, we finished the season with a record of 25, 48, and 9. Points percentage tied with
25 games.
Points percentage tied with the Blackhawks. And still not the worst record in the league.
That is just pitiful.
Because Anaheim won 2 less. So it's just I don't know, fingers crossed on that, right?
That was some generational tanking from the Ducks.
That was wow.
13 in a row. Good Lord.
Congrats to Ty and all of our rookies that got their last chances in the last couple of games. Just shouting out our boys. And we saw a lot of, as we go into shaping up what the playoffs look like, just finishing regular season for a minute, there was a lot. Scoring being up this year brought up so many 100-point players.
Yeah.
So many quiet 100-point players. So many quiet 50-goal scorers.
Well, God, one of the guys who sat out of yesterday's game was Tage Thompson, and he finished the season with 47 and 47 assists. Now, Tage, let me look at his numbers real quick because I'm just
we had 2 guys score 60, which is ridiculous. That's there's so much that ties back into the mid-late 90s, right?
Yeah,
because of how much scoring there was back in that season.
Yeah, and Tage Thompson missed 4 games this year, so who knows? Maybe he could have gotten to 50 this year.
He could have. But obviously you have Connor McDavid leading the way with that, having the best like season since Stevie Eiserman.
So yeah, 153 points, 64 goals. LOL.
Wow.
Leon Draisaitl. This is how great McDavid was.
Yes.
You didn't realize Leon Draisaitl had 52 goals this year. And 128 points.
God, because Pasternak also scored 60.
The quietest 60 goals you'll ever see in your life from David Pasternak because Connor McDavid was doing the most ridiculous shit.
Austin Matthews had a down year and he still hit 40.
Matt Tkachuk and Jason Robertson both scored over 40 goals, had 109 points.
Willie
Phil
Nylander.
Rantanen had 55 goals.
How do we not talk about Miko more? Like, poor Mitchie, like only
Sidney Crosby had 33 goals and 93 points and was 16th in the league in scoring.
At age 35.
Braden Point had 51 goals.
Yeah. Great.
And I think he only had 2 minor penalties. And I think that's like the first time we've seen a guy score 50 goals and have less than like 10 penalty minutes in like over a decade. So that guy should easily win what is the
Lady Bing easy.
The Lady Bing, right? Yeah.
Lady Bing easy. It's like it's crazy just how much scoring was up and just how many like 40 plus goal scorers we saw this year, right?
Jack Hughes missed 4 games, had 99 points, and set the Devils record for points in a season.
He finished with 90. He finished with 99. Oh, yeah, good on Jack.
The previous record by Patrick Elias. Erik Karlsson is the first defenseman in a long ass time to have over
100 point season. He's gonna run away with that Norris Trophy easily.
Which that is so good for the Sharks because it's going to make it a lot easier to trade him this offseason, which is 100% what they should do.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, scoring is just up. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It's phenomenal. And obviously, as you know, as we get into more stuff through off-season mode, we're going to talk about a lot of this more.
Absolutely.
But this is the quickest turnaround into the playoffs that I think we've been yet, because like even last year didn't feel this quick.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're just kind of jumping right into it. So it's
playoffs start Monday.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even have time to make brackets. Like what the hell?
Yeah, I'll end up making mine tonight, but I mean,
probably.
NBA playoffs start in literally a couple of hours, so that's gonna be
exactly. It's like, what are we doing here? Okay.
Jesus.
So we'll start out west really quick. We're gonna go first off. Vegas Jets.
Yeah, we're going to rapid fire through these because we have limited time, but I think it's pretty easy. I think the Knights are going to win this probably in 6 games. Hellebuck has the chance to steal a game or 2.
Yeah.
The Jets have some good offensive players who can kind of make that happen too, but Vegas is just such a well-rounded team, so they'll take that.
Yeah. I think Bonus has the coaching capability to make this team push it a bit.
Yeah, it's just tough though because against a guy like Bruce Cassidy, it's an area where the Jets don't necessarily have an advantage.
And Eichel has been Jack Eichel finally in Vegas, like he has arrived.
I think the big storyline out of this is the moment he's been waiting for. This is the first time he's ever made the playoffs in his career.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get a chance to see what he can do in the playoffs. Can he step his game up? Is he going to be a difference maker? It's big.
Yeah, good for Jack though. His first playoff, like
yeah, and not to mention the Knights should be getting Mark Stone back soon.
Yes, they'll be because now that the salary cap is such a weird thing.
The salary cap doesn't exist anymore, so suddenly he's back and he's healthy.
It's like what? Yeah, it's like it's the weirdest thing to have it for the regular season and not have it for the playoffs, and they're like weird. This is a fun one though, because I think, like I said, you know, Bones can push it to about 6, maybe 7, but I still think Vegas takes it.
Yeah.
This is another really, really fun one because we get the biggest expansion team turnaround with the Kraken facing the Avalanche.
Yeah.
Defending champs and the newest team on the block.
So defending champs are not going to have Gabriel Landeskog for the entirety of the playoffs. That's incredibly unfortunate for him.
It's so sad. I feel so bad for Landy. Like, God,
I think it's pretty easy though. At the end of the day, like even though I love the Kraken, they've been a fun story. Colorado has an advantage behind the bench with their head coach. They have an advantage in net. They have an advantage on defense. They have, even without Landeskog, an advantage at forward. They're just flat out better than the Kraken. So they're going to win this series in 5 or 6.
Well, it's funny to me because, so last year, like really the biggest change is in net for Colorado, right?
Yep.
You go from Darcy Kemper to Alexander Georgiev.
And Georgiev, I think, should probably finish top 5 for Vezina. I think he's yeah. He's had a phenomenal season. And
it's awesome. It's great for Georgiev. I love it.
It is a fantastic year. It's such a great move by the Avs, an example of why they're so good, because they make these shrewd moves where, they went out and they traded a draft pick and a prospect to get Darcy Kemper for a year. And then after they win, they let him walk. And then they decide to move in another direction with a younger guy who they can give a 3-year deal to for less than $4 million. So it's those moves. They see the value in a player who maybe hasn't gotten that opportunity, and then they give it to them and they just flourish.
I mean, the Matt Duchene trade is that in a nutshell, right? Like Joe Sakic has just been like the best general manager in this league for the past like 5 years.
Well, and he moved up to hockey operations, and that's
he's still making,
those two collaborating to make that kind of move. I think another prime example is the guy who we saw really flourish last year was Valentin Chuskin.
Yes, Val has been great.
And another guy would be Andre Burakovsky, who's now on the Kraken.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be really cool. Yeah. And I'm wishing all the best for our guys in Seattle, like our former Blue Jackets and Wenny and Bjorky.
And I'm excited to see them in the playoffs, see what a playoff atmosphere looks like in Seattle. It's good for the league.
Jared McCann had been tearing everybody up.
Yeah, but I think it's going to very easily be a Colorado win.
I'll say Colorado in 6.
Okay.
Stars Wild. This will be a fun one because the Stars had themselves a hell of a year too. Like, how do we not talk about a lot of these Western well, maybe because we're an Eastern focused team or Eastern focused show.
I actually think this is a relative easy series. Pete DeBoer in year 1, which is when he's at his absolute best.
Yes.
So I think Dallas has the coaching edge. I think they have the edge in net. I love Oettinger, and he showed that he's great in the playoffs last year.
Love Otter, and I love Fleury, and Gustafsson has been a really good story for Minnesota too.
Yeah, so that brings up an interesting question too about who do you put in that? Do you put in the experienced Marc-Andre Fleury, or do you go with Philip Gustafsson, who's had a fantastic season?
Right.
It's a good problem to have, but it's still nevertheless a problem that they're going to have to figure out. On defense, I think that the Stars have the edge. Miro Heiskanen's the best defenseman out of everyone in this series, even above our beloved Jared Spurgeon.
Love us some Spurge, but man,
Niels Lundqvist, I think, could be a big X factor in this series.
Oh yeah, yes.
I like Dallas for this series. I think Dallas in 6.
I like Dallas overall for the series. I'll say 7 though, because I really think that Minnesota can push Dallas to the brink because you have guys like Marcus Foligno, you have Kirill Kaprizov, you have our buddy Ryan Hartman. Joel Eriksson Ek.
Fantastic. It's a tough series. I mean, it's the battle of the North Stars, isn't it? Yeah, the Dallas Stars and Minnesota Wild. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. And I think Dean Evison is still a really, really good coach too. So,
yeah, me too. Absolutely.
Despite his Hannibal Lecter faces that he makes. I'm trying to think with Minnesota too, because there was another guy I wanted to bring. Oh yeah, Freddie Gaudreau, dude.
Yeah, he signed an extension.
Big extension.
Good for him. Yeah, it's a good deal.
Yeah, it's a really good deal for him.
Yeah, we get a good draw. They get a good draw. Everybody gets a good draw.
Oh yeah. And last but not least, in the West, we get a Gretzky Bowl in the first round, people.
Yeah. Well, we
Oilers
get it 2
Kings.
years in a row, which is fantastic.
Yeah. It'd be fun.
I think we're going to have a reversal of last year's.
I think so, eh?
The Oilers are red hot coming into this series, and once playoffs hit, it's a different kind of style of game.
Always a different ball game.
McDavid and Draisaitl are going to be nightmares to play against, but the more well-rounded team is in LA. I love the acquisition of our guys, Jonas Korpisalo as well.
Yeah, we got to cheer on our boys.
Gavrikov. So I think overall, I'm going to give the edge to LA. I think they'll win in 7. I'm not going to be surprised if Edmonton wins just because they have Connor McDavid.
Right.
It's probably one of the harder series to predict, but I'm going to go Kings in 7.
I got to go with you on that one because I wouldn't be surprised because, like, the Oilers will go as far as the two-headed monster will take them.
As far as they can take them, like, shit, like if they could carry them to a Stanley Cup, they freaking would because they're that damn good. But we saw last year they carried them to the first 2 rounds, but they couldn't do it against the Avs.
No, but they also do have very underrated pieces behind that in guys like Nuge. Congrats on Nuge having
had a fantastic season. Zach Hyman had a fantastic season.
Hyman had a great year. Evander Kane is still there doing Evander Kane things.
But they don't really have much of a bottom 6. Their defense is incredibly flawed.
Mm-hmm.
Goaltending, I like Stuart Skinner a lot.
I like Stuart Skinner, and I feel bad for Soup because he just had a really down year. By his standards, like, man.
I look at how Mike Smith played against the Kings last year and how good he was, and I'm just like, that went to 7.
Yeah, I don't think
so. Stuart Skinner, like, so that's where I factored that in too. So I think the Kings should win that series. But again, it's tough because it feels wrong betting against McDavid.
Yes, exactly, and that's what I think is going to happen. Is I wouldn't be surprised if Edmonton does it, but I would still say Kings in 7 because you still have guys like Kepi, you have Kempe, you have Iafallo, you have the entire band minus guys like Quick and Dustin Brown.
Yeah. Let's go to the East.
That's still very strange though to see Quick not there for this run.
Yeah, he's going to be winning a Cup of Vegas.
Yeah, he's going to be winning the Cup of Vegas. Yeah. Let's go. The Battle of the Sebastian Aho. Haynes Isles.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's kind of cool.
That's kind of neat, right?
Yeah, it is pretty neat. I mean, I think Carolina's going to win that in 5.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to say 6.
Yeah, because the Sorokin, it's just Carolina's just so much better.
Carolina is a lot better than the Isles, but the Isles are built for this kind of playoff style.
They have been built in the past for it. Without Barry Trotz there, it's hard to say that it's going to be the same results because
I don't know because
Lane's really sputtered down the stretch.
But like Lane, has that enveloped in him. That kind of coaching style is very similar to what Barry did, right?
But he's not Barry.
He's not Barry. Plus, they're getting Barzell back, and
yeah, they got Barzell back. That's why I picked him the Canes in 5.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, the Canes are just overall the better team, and you have. It's funny because their best goalie is arguably their third string guy in Pyotr Kochetkov.
God, I mean, there's so many different directions they could go in, but Freddie Anderson's got really great playoff numbers. Now his numbers in elimination games suck, but just outside of that, his numbers in the playoffs are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Freddie, is he healthy?
He should be.
I think so. So Freddie, this should be fine. Yeah, I'll take them at 5.
I'll say Canes in 6. I'm gonna give the Isles just a little bit more of a chance on that. I'll give him an extra. I think Sorokin can steal him another game out of that. So maybe Varley too, because you never know. It's going to be Sorokin series, but like Varley could get a game or two in there.
All right.
Let's go with Panthers, Bruins. And this is Panthers. This is Bruins easy. This is an easy pick for me because the Bruins are don't.
I'm just going to sweep up here around here.
Yeah.
While I have the chance.
This is an easy sweep for the Bruins because, well, granted, I shouldn't say that, but at the same time, I kind of should, right?
Bruins in 3. Look, the Panthers don't have Bobrovsky or Spencer Knight because Bobrovsky's hurt right now, so they're relying a lot on Alex Lyon.
And Alex Lyon's been awesome.
He's been good, but shit.
He's been a good story.
Tall task for the guy.
Tall task for the guy going up against the guy that locked up the Vezina by Halloween.
Yeah, the 60-goal scorer.
The 60-goal scorer.
Hockey with Brad Marchand and Patrice Bergeron. Ever heard of him?
Has
an award named after him. A guy who's going to finish probably top 5 in Norris voting in Lindholm. And he's not even their best defenseman.
Bloody fuck, hey? Like, jeez.
Jesus Christ. Like, they're so loaded. They have Dmitry Orlov on the
They got their deadline acquisitions. Dmitry Orlov and Garnet Hathaway.
Hathaway's on the 4th line. Orlov's on the 3rd pair. What the fuck?
And your backup
Tyler Bertuzzi is not in the top 6.
Tyler Bertuzzi and Nick and our boy Fliggy got himself a hell of a bounce back year. Love you, Nick. Hope you do the thing.
Yeah.
Or at least go on a deep run.
Bruins are going to sweep this series.
God, it's so easily. Like, yeah, I think they're going to sweep it. Can we praise the Bruins anymore? Like, David Krejci turning back the clock.
We'll have so many. Taylor Hall
finally coming back.
Jake DeBrusk
putting differences. Jim Montgomery.
Easy
Dude.
coach of the year. Easy
Jack Adams winner.
It's not even a question.
Let's go Leafs. Yeah, let's go Leafs Lightning because I want to save a fun series to finish. Leafs Lightning, we know this song and dance because we saw it last year. But
oh god.
I'm gonna be the Leaf fan optimist here.
You always are.
I mean, I am. But here's the thing. Kyle made really good moves. Like, we know what this is going to look like, but the
future Penguins GM Kyle Dubas.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Austin had a down year. Mitch still capping off.
Down year. He had 40 goals.
Exactly. And Willie picked up the slack and scored 40 himself.
Willie had 87 points, 40
I love
goals.
it.
I mean, good lord.
I love it. The core 4 did core 4 things, you know, and you got guys like Kalle Järnkrok pitching in just fine. I think the difference is this is going to be a war. This is going to go 7. We know this is what has to happen, right? But I think with the changes that Kyle made to this team, adding a Ryan O'Reilly, who has been wonderful. Nola Chari's been great.
Mm-hmm.
Gio has been a revelation at 39 years old. Right?
Yeah.
McCabe's been pretty neat. The bottom 6 help with Lafferty and Czar has been fun. They got some decisions to make with who makes this game 1 lineup. But then you also have to think that, like, Tampa's acquisitions, they got a lot of guys that are out.
They're battered to hell.
They are already bruised and bloodied, man. It's like, wow.
This
Their
series is interesting.
Their
because
biggest acquisition in Tanner Jeannot is hurt.
this series provides you with the question.
Yes.
What do you do when the team who is clearly better is the team you don't trust, and the team who is clearly worse is the team you trust the most?
Yeah, exactly, right? It's so weird because
The Leafs have done nothing to convince us that they can do this. But they are objectively, at this point in time, a better hockey team.
But we know that the Tampa Bay Lightning, when this time of year comes around, they can turn it on.
This is what they do.
This is what
because, like, you mentioned that they have injuries. Well, they're exhausted. They've made it to the final the last 3 seasons.
Yes.
They have injuries up and down the lineup, but they got to the final last year without Braden Point.
Yes. And they were missing Kucherov for a couple of those too. Right.
And they've looked terrible over the last month.
Yeah, they've looked.
We have to acknowledge it. They've looked awful.
They
have not looked like the Lightning at all.
No. But it's John
Which is
Cooper.
why I'm picking them to win this series in 7.
But it's John Cooper.
It's John Cooper. It's Andrei Vasilevsky. Yes,
now,
Steve Stamkos.
Vasi has had like the weirdest year for him.
Yeah.
Because when he's on, he's on. He's like typical. He's typical Vasi. But when he's been cold, he's been locked away in my freaking Applebee's freezer. Like
he's been 2019 playoff Andrei Vasilevsky when he's been off.
When he's been off, he has been Squidward, locked away, traveling into the future. Like, that's exactly the kind of Vasi that we've seen. And I don't know, because I don't trust Brian Elliott either. Because why would you at this
37.
point? He's 37. He's
38. Like, good Lord, he's old as shit.
Yeah. And he's no Curtis McElhinney in terms of older backups.
Yeah. But it's like, this is what frustrates me, because it's like, okay, well Matt Murray's always hurt. And he's not going to start the playoffs.
No.
Okay. So they're going with Samsonov.
It's going to be Sammy, and then you have Wool backing up.
Okay, so Wool, who barely has any NHL experience,
but he's looked good.
He does, but like, we're talking about the playoffs here. He has barely any experience, and Samsonov has very little Stanley Cup experience. The one time that we did get to see him in the playoffs, he had that terrible turnover behind his net in overtime where Ovi started yelling at him.
Yeah,
so
poor Sammy.
It's like, God, everything about the Leafs just like, they should win the series.
They should, I have the faith in it. I want to see it. I want to see this finally happen. Like, God damn, man!
I can't bring myself to do it.
I know you can't, and I know so many fans can't. And then, like, I get it. I
have a policy. Like, I can't pick you unless I trust you. So, like, for the longest time, I wouldn't pick the Capitals to get out of the second round of the playoffs.
Right.
Why? Because they didn't do it. They didn't do it for the longest time. And then when they finally did, they won a cup.
And now, trusted them. And now we're missing both the Caps and the Penguins for the first time in for fucking ever.
Yeah, crazy. Capitals fired their coach. Penguins fired their GM, and just about everybody in the front office.
I was going to say the Penguins cleaned house, man.
Yeah.
And we could talk about that next week, too.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at a later point. But I'm going to go Lightning in 7. The Leafs should win this series.
I'm going to go Leafs in 7. I'm not going to
pick them until I can trust them.
I'm going to go Leafs in 7. I have, obviously, more faith than probably anybody does. But, like, yeah, I think one thing that they should do, because we saw it with the matchup earlier, as the season was winding down, right? Play bunts lower.
Yeah.
Play bunts on the third line and match him up against Corey Perry. You could put, I don't care, you could put Nyes with Johnny T. you got, you can do Yarncroak and Mitchie with Austin because you still have Willie that you can play with John, right? It's
There's
like
so many combinations the Leafs can do, but it's tough. They should win this series. They should.
they should.
I need to repeat that point. They should win this series. They absolutely should.
We just gotta wait and see, man. Like,
but it's almost like every time they should win the series, the worse they do in it.
I know. It's so I'm ready to get hurt again. And I say that like I've been cheering for this team my whole life. I haven't. But like I'm so engrossed in the way this team is constructed.
Yeah.
That like I love so many individual players on this team. Because they're so likable. They're so good at what they do. Right?
Yeah.
It's just I want to see it. This would be the first time if they do the thing. This would be the first time they've won a playoff series since the year my brother was born, dude.
Do you know what the number one movie in the box office was the last time they made it to the second round?
God. I know The Incredibles came out that year.
It was Mean Girls.
It was Mean Girls. That's right. Yeah. God. I can't
The last time that they made it to the second round, it was during George Bush's first term.
First term, yes. Man. And the Lightning won the cup that year.
Yep.
Well, shit. I want to see the Leafs do the thing so bad, man.
A lockout hadn't happened yet.
A lockout hadn't happened yet, yeah.
The Jets weren't in Winnipeg.
Nope, they were
30 teams in the league.
Yep. We have 2 more now.
And the Blue Jackets had Stinger as their logo.
God, they did. And their secondary logo was that stupid, like, neon sign looking thing with the hockey stick in the middle. And I mean, I like it on the reverse retro, but ew. And like, I get what they were going for, but like, it's gross.
No, that's the reason I like it. It's because it's gross. But
it's because it's gross. Yeah. Oh man. The last one in the playoff matchups, I'm very excited for this one because we get a rivalry in the first round again, and it's the Battle of the Hudson River, dude. And this is
the best. It's the best.
Yeah, it's going to be the most fun to watch, right?
I don't know. Like, I cannot, for the life of me, come up with a winner for this series. They're so evenly matched.
I know. And so, do we want to like deep dive into this one a little bit more?
We'll do it as quickly as we can. I mean,
yeah.
You've got Igor Shesterkin versus Vitek Vanacek, who both had fantastic seasons.
Yeah, like.
But Igor is a top 2 goalie in the world.
Igor, I give the Rangers the edge with Igor.
Absolutely, you have to. On defense, though, I mean, I'd probably the Rangers have the best defenseman in the series in Adam Fox, but I'd say the Devils have a better defensive core.
They have the edge all around.
Yeah, you've got Dougie Hamilton, you've got John Marino, and you've got Damon Severson on your right side. And then you've got Jonas Siegenthaler, you've got Ryan Graves. And I don't expect that we'll see Luke Hughes in this series. It is a possibility.
He'll be a good
all were to go down, or someone else on the left side.
I would say that Luke is going to be their 7th guy.
I think so.
I think Luke's going to be their 7th guy, which, by the way, it's awesome to see Jack and Luke together finally.
Luke's first goal is so great.
It's so great. It's so wonderful to see those guys together. I love it. But the offense, the forwards, they're so even.
Like the Rangers, their top 6 includes Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider, Tarasenko
and Patrick Kane,
Vincent Trocheck,
dude.
Okay, and then you got the kid line with Hedl, Kakko, and Lafreniere.
Yeah, and we love those guys.
You've got Yeah, Hughes and Heischer.
You have Jesper Bratt. You have Yegor Sharangovich. We did
you got Dawson Mercer, Timo
Meyer. God.
Tomas Tatar had the best season he's had in years.
Holy crap.
They're loaded. Both these teams are loaded.
I could fawn over both of these teams like nobody's business. And the funny thing is, because my friend Kat, she's a Panthers fan. She's also a Rangers fan. And, I've given her plenty of shout outs recently because she was in the AMA and all that fun stuff. She'll probably want me to cheer for the Rangers.
I have an obligation to root for the Devils.
Well, yeah. But that's the thing is, we both have Devils connections with Alex and Neil. And it's
and my girlfriend,
and your girlfriend, yeah.
Here's I don't think we talked. Have we talked enough about Dawson Mercer?
No.
27 goals, 56 points this season.
God,
it's phenomenal. Jesper Bratt, 73 points, 32 goals. Tomas Tatar, who I mentioned earlier, 20 goals, 48 points, plus 41. I know plus minus is over. Plus 41
with 48 points.
Yeah. Shit. I mean, he didn't play it. He had some injuries this year and he didn't put up great numbers. But Andre Palat, this is why you got him.
This is why you have him.
God,
it's going
Jack
7.
Hughes, 99 points. He had 43 goals. We mentioned that earlier. Set the record. Nico Hischier, where's he on this list?
Perfect captain for that team.
Nico Hischier, 31 goals, 80 points, plus 33.
Oh my God. What a year for Nico. Obviously you get Patrick Kane and Vlad Tarasenko for this because they have this kind of winning experience.
They're not the players that they used to be, but this is where they play their best.
Yes. And Ellie said this. Did you see this? On Twitter and Snapchat and stuff? Fred and Kane never lost a step.
Yeah. They're just some guys that you just click with immediately.
That chemistry never left.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's both.
And they have Vinny Trocheck instead of Jonathan Taves in the middle.
And you've got both teams have just so much flexibility. There's so many different things that they can do.
Yeah.
It's line different combinations and stuff like that. The Rangers will keep the kit line together.
But you can swap Vlad and Patrick no matter what.
Yeah. Panarin can cook with Tarasenko too.
Yeah. National team, right?
Yeah.
They got national team chemistry. It's hell.
You got a playmaker and you got a sniper. There you go.
Yeah.
I think my gut tells me that the team with more firepower.
Yeah.
The Rangers.
Yeah.
But my gut is also telling me the more complete unit
is the Devils. Yes.
So what do you do with that? Well, first you say this series is going 7.
Yes.
And then you flip a coin.
Yes. Can we?
That's how even this series
is. Is that dog still doing the basketball thing? The basketball predictions?
I hope that would make it a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Yeah. God, I don't know what to do. I really don't.
Here's how we do this. I pick the Devils and you pick the Rangers and we call it a day.
Okay. All right. But I would I'm sorry, Kat, but I would still be fine if the Devils did this because God, I love that team.
They're so freaking good and they're going to get better. They're going to get better in these next couple of years when Nemec developing.
Nemec
and there's going to develop more.
And if you bring in Holtz, even if that
Alexander Holtz, who I think will probably more than likely be a trade chip, but still, I mean,
bring him in, and it's
and Hughes isn't done improving. He sure is
No,
improving.
those two are only gonna get better. Like he sure's only what?
He sure's 24, maybe.
Yeah. Dude, this team is, yeah. So my heart is gonna go say, like, I'd be happy if the Devils got it, but I have to pick. I'm gonna go Rangers on that
Okay.
because
I
I
think
think
that
that
was the best way for us to do this.
I think they have the more experience. They have, they have what it takes to go on a deeper run. But I wouldn't be disappointed if the Devils got it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we're at with that. And we'll keep eyes on that as we go through, this first round, and we're talking about more off-season news and things like that. But I want to end on, did you get a chance?
I didn't get to listen to all of it. I did listen to some parts of it. Obviously,
How far did you get?
As it says, like 5 hours. I didn't like go through it like in a row. I kind of skipped around a little bit of things that jumped out to me.
So we wanted to talk about Meteor 20 because I've been itching to talk about this thing ever since it came out.
I love the things that they did live in Texas. Were very good,
dude. 2 full live shows and parts of 3 others. How awesome is that?
Some of the demos were really cool.
The live in Texas show is my favorite ever. Like, I just love live in Texas so much. Pushing Me Away live, just that's my favorite thing ever.
The 2002 demo of Faint was really cool.
Mike's Breaking the Habit demo.
Yeah,
I love it.
I got the chance to listen to that one too.
Okay, I want to give you, out of the like big unreleased songs, right? That like everybody was trying to, churn out and listen to, and attach to. Okay, here we go. Lost, Fighting Myself, More the Victim, Massive, Healing Foot. Top 5, right?
Okay.
Rank them. Go.
Okay. Go through those again.
Lost, Fighting Myself, More the Victim, Massive, and Healing Foot.
Fighting Myself is probably up there for me.
Yeah. Fighting Myself is a fun one.
Lost too.
Well, Lost, when that came out, like it came out at the perfect time, right?
Yeah. Oh,
those other 3 is just like they're delicious, right?
Yeah. You said Lying From You?
No, More the Victim,
More
Massive.
the Victim, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to look through all these.
More the Victim is Cumulus, bro. Everybody had been waiting on Cumulus forever, and now that we know that that's it's like
Yeah, they're all fantastic.
Healing Foot is gorgeous. It's beautiful. And Massive. Did you know that Massive is all Mike?
Yeah, I didn't listen to Massive.
You should listen to Massive.
No,
it's all
it's
all Mike singing, dude. It's like that. We knew Mike could sing like later on.
Yeah.
But it's like you listen to him in this, and it's like, whoa. And I just love it so much, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's really cool.
They
glad I was able to listen to some of it. I still have more to listen to, but
they got like the Breaking the Habit and Rock Am Ring 04 in there, which is my favorite with the piano intro.
Yeah.
They got the Wish cover in there. They got the Project Revolution where they brought in Jonathan Davis for One Step Closer.
Right.
Live in Nottingham is
a fantastic song.
Live in Nottingham is amazing. The
live ones were really cool.
The live versions of Easier to Run bring tears to my eyes, man. And a lot of the demos of the stuff that made it on the record, like Husky and all of this kind of stuff, the later stuff like that, like towards the end of the thing. My favorite is still Cuidado, which is the line from Udemo, the instrumental for that, because it's just so you could tell that this is where that is, right? And then like in terms of the unreleased stuff, I really like the unreleased finished stuff. I would say my favorite has got to be Healing Foot.
Right.
And then the unreleased demos kind of stuff, I really, really love Soundtrack and Rhinoceros. Rhinoceros is fun. Rhinoceros has this like by myself vibe to it.
Yeah.
And they played By Myself live in Texas, and that guitar intro is just like, I love it. This has been like my whole personality ever since this thing came out, and it's going to be my personality for like the next month.
Fair.
I just love Meteor 20th anniversary so much. The band, at least like Mike and Joe and Dave, they all got together and did like a big LPU Q&A live thing the other day, which was really, really fun.
Yeah.
And I think this is Lincoln's year for like comeback stuff, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I just love that this is such a big celebration and we're making it so much fun. And they put out so much content and so much love into this thing.
Yeah.
It's just, wow. I have no words other than like, I think, they made Chester proud.
Oh, absolutely.
I think Chester would be very proud of this.
He would be. Absolutely. No doubt about it.
But yeah, we're in off-season mode, everybody. And we'll
probably
see you
going to go back to one a week for a little bit, I think.
One a week for the next few months. Probably just, so we can still churn things out regularly. We'll do weekend shows.
Yeah.
We'll find fun guests this off season.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to bring in our friends in the network and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But I hope we can get some big guys too, like reporters.
Yeah, that's something I think since we have a little bit more time, we can focus more on
trying to network things out. Yeah. I think, because did you see Jeremy and Laura interviewing Boone?
I did not.
Did you see their video for that? You gotta watch it. It's so cool. But we and they, because hopefully we'll get to hang out with those two very soon.
Oh,
excuse you.
Beer burps.
Are you scared to bring Jeremy and Laura on? Are you?
Yeah.
They are kind
unless they drink pours with us.
They are a little intimidating, aren't they? No, they're the best. Subjectively Speaking will join us next week, and we'll see you Saturday.
Jake Jackets, a podcast for fifth liners and all puckheads around. Follow the guys on Twitter at Snake Gehringer, GARRINGER, and at By J Ashdown. And subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen. March on.